I'm Denise Quashie, and I am the head of Global Startup Marketing Programs for AWS. And today we're going to talk about how I got started in tech and how you can as well.
So it started very early on. I've always had an interest in what was behind the scenes of products and tools. And so tinkering behind all of that was super interesting to me. And then from a career standpoint, I started at Deloitte. I moved from Deloitte to Oracle. So always had interest in just like technology companies about the end product. What do consumers actually get to see? And then how is that all of that kind of built behind the scenes? Technology has always been at the core of the beginning for me, really truly understanding how things are built. And then what stamp can I put on it to make it an even better product or service for customers. The passion that still drives me is being able to just innovate, right? So at AWS, we're very focused on the customer and the customer problem. A good example of that is the AWS Impact Accelerator program, which we launched in last year. With the Impact Accelerator program, we're really truly focused on underrepresented founders, women, LGBTQ+, Latino, Black founders that haven't always had the same opportunities as others. I'm super passionate about this program. It's a personal thing for me, being a Black woman in technology, building a startup, being a non-technical founder. There were so many things, right, that was stacked up against me. And, me being able to work for a company like AWS and use my privilege to be able to introduce this in an easier, more consumable way to founders like myself has really been the most rewarding experience of my career and personal as well. I would say the best advice that someone's given me is to be open to failure. We talk about wins and success oftentimes, but we really don't talk about failure. And, failure for me is something that I actually, put up on a shelf as to say, okay, I failed, but what did I learn from that experience, right? I think it's important for girls, for women, for those that are interested in technology. There's going to be a point of failure, right? And so how do we either mitigate those potential risks, or how do we learn from that and do better and move on to the next thing? I think oftentimes we have this fear of failing so much that we can never come back from it. But for me, failure is one of those things that I look at almost just as a success, as a win, because now I know what to do next, right? And so I've kind of crossed all these things off my list. So being open to failure and not looking at it as the end of the world, right? It's the end of a chapter. It's actually the beginning. And so be open to failure is probably the most rewarding message that I've learned over the years. I would say probably the hardest thing I would say working in tech is the no's. I would say being a woman in tech, we're often, one of few at a table if we're invited to the table, right? And being a Black woman, even less, right? And so I think there's often this no that we hear a lot. And I think we have to lean into the no sometimes. For me, no is just more fire in my belly as to finding a yes within that. We have to be open to being the only one in the room and sometimes hearing those no's. And for me, it just gives me more fire to lean into it and to find the yes and to find the invitation to be at a seat at that table. Best career advice I could give to someone interested in STEM or tech is to be open to two-way doors decisions. At Amazon, we use this term one-way door decisions or two-way door decisions. A one-way door decision is a decision that once you go through that door, you can't come back. But a two-way door decision is I'm going to try something. I'm going to go through this door. If it doesn't work, that's okay. I'm going to come back through the door. And so what I try to, encourage my team at AWS is to be open to these two-way door decisions, right? You just try it and do it. And if it doesn't work, just come on back, right? But for those one-way door decisions, those are the ones that you want to spend the most time on.